rented an apartment or home or anything. Great. Can you raise your hand if you have ever experienced a lag in response time when you reported an issue in that rental property? All right. So here to talk about something specifically related to this is Francis. So SF Pest allows residents in San Francisco in affordable housing to report pest issues from their mobile devices to improve community and accountability between residents and property management. SF Pest was developed as part of the fellowship program by students in partnership with Pest Tech and Civic Innovation Group. Here to tell us more, Francis Lee.
Thanks for the introduction. So again, SF Pest is a project of the Dev Mission Fellowship Program. So to provide a little bit of context, I wanted to start by describing who we are. Dev Mission is a nonprofit here in San Francisco whose goal is to train what we believe are the untapped youth here in San Francisco. Young adults between 16 and 24, generally from what we consider to be underserved populations, who we think should have the same opportunities to participate in the tech economy. The core of the Dev Mission program, as you see in the first column, phase 1, is a 12-week boot camp. It provides an educational program across 3 tracks: computer hardware, including how to take apart and repair computers, electronics, and the Internet of Things, software and programming through web development, basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript programming, as well as critical career skills. So how to create a resume, write cover letters, interview practice, as well as site visits to tech companies here in San Francisco to learn about what the jobs are like. Thanks to grants from the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, we're happy to say that we'll also be able to offer a $500 stipend to students in coming cohorts, along with a laptop that they get as part of the program. And just to be clear, for qualifying students, this is a completely free program that they can take along with these benefits. That being said, since joining the board almost 2 years ago, my focus has been a little bit more on what happens after that camp, because that helps break down the barriers. Hey, can I be a part of this? But what comes next? We have a lot of different pathways that we try to encourage students to go down that I can't talk about in detail, but one that I've been involved with is what we call our fellowship program. It was a chance to work for 6 months with community partners to build a project that would serve back to the local community here in San Francisco. And SF Pest was one of 4 such projects. Sponsored by Microsoft, students received a $1,000 stipend for their participation. And in partnership with the Geosphere Civic Innovation Group and Pest Tech, as was described in the intro, SF Pest is simply a web application that allows residents in affordable housing to report pest issues that they're experiencing in the community. So I don't know if you're familiar with San Francisco's public housing, which over the past 5 years or so has been entirely transferred over to private management. But as part of San Francisco's transfer, it was mandated that they be managed by either a nonprofit or a mixture of a for-profit and a nonprofit. So we work with the Hunters Point East-West affordable housing community, which is managed by San Francisco Housing Development Corporation, the nonprofit partner, and John Stewart Property Management, the for-profit. And as you can imagine, we get so many players involved between the residents reporting to the for-profit management company, which is the day-to-day, but then you have a nonprofit who's supposed to be aware of what are the issues going on with residents and being their advocates. We felt that there was an opportunity to really improve the process. So we spent a lot of time, students got a chance to meet with and interview workers at Pest Tech, which is the company that provides pest control services to Hunters Point East-West. We met with the John Stewart for-profit property manager, as well as resident service community members and members of the San Francisco Housing Development Corporation. We also met with and presented our prototype of this web app to residents at one of their community meetings. So this is just showing part of our process, going to the community meeting, showing a prototype that students developed as a way of getting more experience with full stack web development, while also building something that we thought would be allowing lot of brainstorming, took the students through participatory and user-centered design exercises about what would be the solution for residents, what would be the solution for service providers. And of course, as part of that, they also learned more details about the full stack of web development. Because in the boot camp, they really just learned what we call the top tier, U tier of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. But what happens in the back end? What about that server and that database that manages the entire application? So it's not a particularly interesting demo to make. You can visit it at sfpress.org if you want to see it. It is a mobile responsive web app that allows you to report pest issues, including taking a picture right from your phone and including it with your pest report. Members of the service team will be notified by email, and they have an admin dashboard that they can log into to review and respond to. We're currently in the process of onboarding pest techs such that as they receive service requests from the property, they'll start using the system to log those requests. And we're also starting the process of getting ready for an actual pilot with Hunters Point East West. So kind of trying to get all the stakeholders involved between San Francisco Housing Development Corporation and Dallas School of Property Management. So that is SFS and Definitions Fellowship Program. I'm happy to take any questions.
Great, thank you.
Hi. So I'm new to the city. I'm not sure what it looks like here, but are there tenant unions or organizations like that you partner with?
There certainly are tenant advocates. That's not a community partner that we work with in this case, mainly because specifically for these affordable housing complexes, which used to be city-owned and operated, their advocates are generally supposed to be nonprofit partners in this case, San Francisco Housing Development.
And all the way in the back. Oh, wait, 1 second. We want to hear
How are you dealing with languages?
So the plan is, and this is some ongoing work that I hope to engage more students in the next round of fellowship, but the plan is to localize this web application from English also into Spanish and Chinese.
Any more questions? We got one right up here in the middle.
Do you foresee opportunities for future students to take this as a framework and extend it beyond pest control into other issues that you may need to report?
You know, when we presented the prototype to San Francisco Housing Development Corporation, the first thing they said was, can we use this for everything? Because they really just want to have more visibility into what their for-profit partner is doing. So like any maintenance request or anything was, they were interested in using it. So that's certainly a possibility. And we'd love to actually go that direction. We wanted to kind of scope down what we were doing first so that we had very focused project to focus on and launch, especially given having a really involved partner, which was Pest Tech in this case. Before we close, I'll just mention that the entire team is here, the 2 students, AJ, Daniel, and Kyle from Pest Tech.
Why don't you guys stand up?
And Sergey from
Fantastic. Any more? We have one more question. Okay. Oh, good question.
Yeah, the question was, are the reports anonymous? The answer is currently no. There is certainly room for discussion, I think, for accountability and to understand. It's not about reporting like general problems with site, specific problems in your specific unit.